Previously, our still newly acquainted heroes threw themselves into a fight with Ralph, a local in the town, who they suspected had something to do with the bodies that had been going missing from the local graveyard. Ralph's next-door neighbor, Cater, ran off to get help at the sight of a bunch of strangers attacking him. After she left, those of the group who'd pushed inside Ralph's house were able to grab him and stop the fight from progressing. Eversong was able to talk down Ralph, or Necrome as he informed them he preferred to be called, which definitely didn't raise anyone's eyebrows considering why they were there in the first place, and convinced him that getting the guard involved wasn't going to end well for anyone. When Cater returned with some help that she'd grabbed, he gaslighted her thoroughly and convinced her that she'd been imagining everything that happened, while the group listened awkwardly from a back room with what the fuck looks on their faces. Necrome agreed to take Adria and Eversong down into the creepy tunnels under his home to see what he'd been working on, but he insisted the others stay behind, mainly because they tried to attack him. Tyr immediately started going through Necrome's library the moment he left and grabbed the journal. Down in the creepy dungeon, Adria and Eversong didn't react well to the tables lined with preserved body parts in jars, much to Necrome's disappointment, nor were they pleased when he admitted that he'd been stealing bodies to learn necromancy, but they were too old, so instead he turned to poisoning half the town to try and get fresh bodies to work with. Consent is important, even with necromancy, or especially with necromancy. He cast sleep on Adria, who immediately collapsed to the ground. Tyr had previously opened a connection with Necrome to speak in his mind, so he picked up on a few words of the man's rant. He started to get concerned by what he was hearing, so Isaac sent a message to Eversong, just as she screamed at the top of her lungs and started to shake Adria awake. At that, the rest of the group quickly made their way down into the caves. The group was just as quickly able to disable the wannabe necromancer. A few of them went to get the mayor, who they suggested might want to consider having Ralph leave town and never come back, rather than doing anything more public, considering A, the mayor had been keeping the missing bodies a secret, so that would be awkward, and B, Ralph had given a lot of people food poisoning who might react badly to finding out it had been intentional. And that is where we left off.